CGC video game grading is live, and so I am going to send off some of my, or what's left of my collection of video games, primarily sealed games. I have one, I guess, complete in box. I'm going to send them. But here's what's going to go out. My Super Nintendo copy of Demon's Crest, which, you know, I had on eBay, you know, for a while, and I did have some standing offers for like $2,500 for this, but this is during COVID, right? So it's probably much lower now. But I never let it go, and so now I'm going to have it graded. And I think I was close to selling it to somebody else, but then they backed out because they saw these little tiny holes in the wrap, and I never noticed them before. But I did a little bit of research, and I believe those are vent holes. So it's not damage. It's just that's how the wrap was produced or applied. So there's three little vent holes here, and then they're pretty symmetrical, you know, straight down. So anyway, Demon's Crest for the Super NES is going to be going out for grading. I still have this thing on it. I'm not sure if that impacts the grade at all. The Legend of Zelda for Super Nintendo. This is the less desirable of the two. This is the Player's Choice Million Seller version with this sort of golden ribbon thing here, but still a significant game. One of the greatest of all time. Some say the best Zelda game. I think that goes to the Breath of the Wild, in my opinion. But yeah, definitely worth getting this graded. The Legend of Zelda for Super NES. So they actually have, I believe it's two grading tiers. They have retro and modern, and so I think it's $50 and $40, and then those are for sealed games. And then if it's complete in box, which requires a little more effort because they're going to grade the manual, the box, and the cartridge, I believe it's like $80. So anyway, let me just put those there. Excuse me. This is a modern game. This is a Wii U copy of the Breath of the Wild. I bought two of these. I think this might be the last official game for the Wii U, and I didn't know at the time, but apparently this is the much harder to come by misprint or first print or whatever, because it shows these 7 different controllers back here, which I guess is an error. So I figured I'd send this one out as well. I own a copy of this. You know, I opened it up. I'm not even sure if it's the same type or not, but that's going to go. Figured I'd send out Perfect Dark, which I have for the Nintendo 64. I remember I bought this for like $10 on eBay. You know, whatever, 20-something years ago at this point. But the spiritual successor, I guess, to GoldenEye on the Nintendo 64, which was a fantastic game. Everybody knows if you were a gamer back then. And yeah, I've never played Perfect Dark, but I thought I'd pick this up whenever it was, just for the nostalgia. So that's going to go out, and I'm going to send, this is one of 2 copies of the Gamecube Twilight Princess. This is still sealed. I sold one during COVID, so unfortunately, you know, I'd be lying if I didn't say I regretted a couple of those sales around about 2.5 years ago at this point, because those would be fun to get graded now. I had gorgeous copies of Mega Man Zero Advance for the Game Boy Advance. The first 2, I had actually 1, 2, and 3, but the 3 had a big old price sticker on it, which kind of detracts from it a little bit. But Mega Man 0, 1, and 2, and then also Marvel vs. Capcom 2 for the Dreamcast would have been a cool one to get graded. You just don't see those, but whatever. So this is going to go. When I sold this, I sold it for like $150. And then it went way up, and like everything else in the collectibles space, it went back down dramatically. So video games were not immune to the dramatic rises and declines, you know, like baseball cards and other collectible things too. And the last game is a complete in-box game. I think it would be cool to have graded. You know, the CGC flip for the video games is identical to the comic book flip, so I think it looks really good. And I think this would look really good graded. Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine for the Nintendo 64. Now, this was a Blockbuster exclusive game. You can rent it from Blockbuster, or you could buy it direct from LucasArts, which is what I did, like $50. And you know, as a result, there just aren't a lot of these going around. It was late in the Nintendo 64's lifespan, I guess. So we shall see. But this is going to be pricey. I think it's like $80 to grade this because it's an open copy, and you got to go in and you got to look at the other stuff in here. So there's a little bit of a crease there. I could see in the box. The cart is going to be mint. The manual is going to be mint. So be curious to see how the complete in box, you know, ends up compared to the sealed games. And so I do have a few things left over after this that I might consider. I got some Final Fantasy Advance, Dawn of Souls, it's 1 and 2, and then I got Final Fantasy 5, Final Fantasy 6, which is probably the best of the bunch. That's still in pristine condition, still sealed. And I think like Tales of Symphonia for the GameCube and some other obscure games. But we're going to give this a try and see how this goes. Looking forward to seeing what kind of grades I get on this lot of what's remaining from my video game collection, my sealed game collection for the most part. Thanks for watching.